Well. Give Ubisoft a round of applause. You were able to put out something that I was actually able to enjoy for once. It's crazy. I mean, this game did technically come out in 2013, but to make a remake, I mean, this basically is a remake of the original game. It's pretty faithful, with some tweaks here and there that may have improved on some things or may have taken away from some things. But still, overall, I think it's a faithful adaptation of one of my favorite games of all time. This game is in my top 5 games of all time. I've played the original game, more times than I could actually count. But I just want to talk about my experience with the resynced version. And I'm going to avoid spoilers, so I'm going to keep most of my footage to the first, maybe 12 hours of gameplay. Because most people still probably have not played even the original game. So I just want to keep it brief and sort of just go over, skim over the game overall and what I think about it. Honestly, I think the first game's a 10 out of 10. This is a 9 out of 10 maybe. There's still some things I think the first game did a lot better, and I'm going to explain what those are so you don't think this is just rose-tinted glasses and me just saying stuff. Other than that, let's get right into it. I guess I'll start with the opening hours of Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced. Unfortunately, I want to say just something right off the bat. It's not really negative, but it's something that I instantly noticed because I played the first game so much. And it's that even the first cutscene, when Edward was on the beach looking up, I'm for some reason, this looks a little the facial animations, everything has been upgraded, the facial textures, everything like that. It looks just slightly different than the original. I guess I'll put up some side-by-side comparisons so that you'll see what I'm talking about. For some reason in my memory, and when I went back to go play the first game recently, the facial animations and just the gruff look and the personality that these main characters exuded, Blackbeard and Bonnie and Edward Kenway, it seems like they had more personality. I'm not sure if that's just because of it just looks different to me, so it's just sort of uncanny in my head. And I don't know, it seems like they trimmed a little bit of that edge off of each character that I loved. I'm not saying that it's completely garbage now, every character just has a bland static face or something like that. It's just they look a little bit different and they don't exactly exude that charm that they did in the original. And this isn't something that was just in the opening hours of the game. I noticed it whenever Edward was talking constantly throughout the game. His facial animation just didn't look as I don't know, snarky or charming or that smug personality. I'm not saying it's a totally bad thing. Maybe that's just a different direction they went with the facial animation, but it just looks a little bit different because it's different in my memory. But outside of that though, this game really is the Ratatouille meme where he's just he takes that bite and he goes back to his childhood. Most of this game is literally like that. Everything I do is I feel like I'm 13 again. I honestly didn't forget much because again, I went back and played the original recently, but even going back and playing some of these naval contracts or just these side missions, looking for these treasure maps, or just exploring the open sea and taking down these much bigger ships than I have. Every bit of it gave me so much nostalgia, but it also felt just as good as the original. Especially the ship combat, I gotta say. The ship combat feels just as good as how I remember it. Probably even better since now you're able to get these 3 new captains and each of them gives you a unique thing to like a unique upgrade to your jackdaw. So a battering ram for one of them, which is my personal favorite addition. As for the parkour, at least the regular unassisted parkour, I feel you got to get used to it a little bit. The original game's parkour, it feels it's kind of just easy man's parkour. You just got to push the stick forward, press X. Now it seems if you have that assist off, you got to be very intentional with where you want to go. Otherwise, you might just yeet off the side of a building and die. But I think I like the unassisted parkour system a lot better, just because it feels more I'm in control. And once I got used to it, I couldn't go back to the assisted parkour. Whenever I'm chasing down these song pieces, I just feel much more in control of Edward as compared to the original, where sometimes he would just do random stuff. He would jump here, accidentally go into a bush. It just feels much more grounded, but it also feels more natural to me. And that was actually really important to me because in this version, I spent a lot more time in each map. And I spent a lot more time looting chests, trying to find as many collectibles for each location as I could, just getting as much money as I could. Honestly, the economy in this version, for some reason, it feels better. I feel I can afford a lot more stuff. Also, the crafting and hunting, it feels a lot more readily available. I feel I don't have to go out of my way to try to hunt down these individual animals so much so I can upgrade my pouches or just whatever it is. I don't know, for some reason I just feel in this version it's a lot easier to grind and get skins and just get money and just get the things that you need to upgrade your jackdaw or your arsenal. I'm not gonna lie, part of that is due to the highlight finder. Now that I can see where the chests are throughout the environment, it makes it so much easier on exploration, and it makes it a lot more enjoyable. It's not like it wasn't enjoyable in the original, it's just that it's a lot easier now. It's a lot less time consuming. I mean, basically everything you do in this game is less time consuming than the original. At least I feel like the side activities, it feels like it gets more to the point. Maybe that's because they stripped out all the abstergo, sequences. Thankfully they did that, because I got sick and tired of having to do that every like 2 hours of gameplay. Like, I'm good, please just let me play the game. That's one of the things, that's probably the main thing I didn't like about the original, because I'm not an Assassin's Creed fan and I didn't really like those segments. But if I'm being honest though, there are some side content additions that don't really fit with the main game. So like the manor, I don't know, it sort of works like a home hub. The Jackdaw is Edward's home hub. I don't need the manor. It just doesn't really fit with the main game. It just seems like a place to like display all your weapons and your paintings and sort of upgrade it, and you get this collection money. It's cool, I guess. It doesn't fit with the main story. I don't know why they didn't just add more Jackdaw features in place of that side content. It doesn't really mesh with the main game, as well as some other side content stuff. It's kind of trippy. I think it kind of replaced like the abstergo segments, and I'm not gonna lie, it dragged. It was really trippy and it just dragged out, and I'm just like, I don't particularly care about this. And I get that it was meant to like replace the abstergo segments and you're sort of like reliving your moments, but for me personally, like some of these side content additions, they didn't really mesh with the main game. Even like this resynced version, they didn't mesh with the game. It just felt out of the way. It didn't click for some reason. I mean, just other content additions, like with the whole Ubisoft like store system. Why? Like, I don't understand why Ubisoft always has to do this. You always have to add a store into every game. It's a single player game. Why are we adding a store into the game, bro? Like, you get like these free weapons off the jump and they're better than almost like every other weapon that you can get into the game. But outside of like the legendary weapons that you have to go hunt down for, or that you have to unlock after getting all these collectibles, they're better than like 90% of the weapons. So you don't even have to spend money on weapons in this game. And it's given to you all for free if you pre-order the game or if you buy different packs in the store. It's like, what are we doing, man? Like, we can literally buy like better skins, better legendary skins, better weapons. I don't understand Ubisoft's obsession with putting all these extra add-on packs that basically make the game a lot easier. These map packs. What are we doing with the map packs? Like, before I get too out of hand with that, that annoys me to no end. Why are we still doing these things where if we purchase these add-on packs, it makes the game way easier? It's Ubisoft. You should come to expect it, but you so lucky this game is in my top 5 games of all time. Otherwise, I wouldn't have touched this game with all these microtransactions. But yeah, outside of those like side content additions that don't really mesh with the game and the microtransactions, that just piss me off to no end. The other thing I don't feel like is as good as the original, it's not bad, but I don't think it lives up to the original, is the stealth in this game. I feel like the basic stealth is still pretty good, but overall, I don't know. I feel like even on hard, like I played this game on hard, and even then, sometimes the enemy AI, they don't react to things as quickly as they did in the original. I don't know, it feels like it takes them like 5 to 10 seconds after spotting you, depending on how far away you are, to be alerted and to engage in combat. But yeah, other than those slight downsides, again, outside of the microtransactions, because what the hell is Ubisoft doing? But other than those slight downsides, the game is basically just as I remember it. It performs just as well. There's no bugs, there's no glitches. The pacing is just as good as the original, where it feels like sometimes you have a lot of main mission things to do, and then other times you can just go out and explore the open world or the open seas, if you will. Just sitting back and listening to the sea shanties and vibing out. I swear to God, the sea shanties might be the best thing that's ever happened to any game ever. Outside of like maybe The Witcher 3, where I would just roam around Skellige because the music was so beautiful. Chef's kiss. Like, outside of that, this game's music is off the charts, top tier. It's unbeatable. If you don't find yourself going, windy weather was stormy weather was when the wind blows, we're all together. If you don't find yourself doing that, you're not a real Assassin's Creed Black Flag fan. You're just not. But yeah, that's all I got to talk about for now, at least. This wasn't a review type video. This is just me talking about the game, what I love about it so much. If I go back and do a second playthrough, then I'll probably do a full review, breakdown, detailed analysis of the game. But I don't really feel like I need to, because this is just one of my favorite comfort games of all time. And when I have such a deep love and comfort for a game, I don't always want to break it down meticulously. I just kind of want to give my unfiltered thoughts on it. And my thoughts overall is that this is a 9 out of 10 adaptation of the original, which is, I mean, it's better than I can hope for, honestly. This is Ubisoft we're talking about. I mean, outside of the microtransactions, everything else is sort of like personal preference. And in my eyes, they could have done a lot worse. But they didn't. They were pretty faithful to the original, and I loved almost every second of it. But yeah, anyways, that's all I got to talk about, and that's it for me. I'll see you next time.